Okay, great. I think it looks like we have everybody in. Maureen, so if you want to start.
Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Maureen Clancy from the Multilingual Office. I'm just going to start with information on how to find the interpreter function if you need it. So if you're joining us using a computer, you're going to look for the globe box on the bottom of your screen circled here in red. You click on that, click on interpretation, find the language you'd like, mute the original audio, and you should be set. If you're joining us using a phone or mobile device, you're going to be looking for the More button, the black button with the 3 little dots. You're going to select that button, then language interpretation, then select the language you'd like. Click done or save. And you can also mute the original audio so you only hear the one language you need. Tonight we'll have French, Portuguese, Somali, and Spanish. We have Josephine for French, Berthley for Portuguese, Shamso for Somali, and Todd for Spanish. So I'm going to run through these in the 4 different languages. I won't try to read them. I'll just leave them up long enough to help. So this is Portuguese if you're using a computer. Portuguese if you're using a mobile device. There's French. French from your mobile device. Spanish. Spanish from your mobile device. And Somali. Sorry. I just realized I cut off a word. Sorry. If you have any trouble accessing the interpreter function, just please put a question in the Q&A and I'll do my best to help you.
Thank you, Maureen. And I think we're ready to get started. So good evening, families, and welcome to our grade 9 open house. We're glad you could join us. I'm Sheila Jepson, the principal. Tonight, you will meet our administrative team, hear from our 9th grade team of teachers, and learn about what your 9th grader will experience this year. I know you will find the night informative. We had hoped to have this night in person, but unfortunately, our health and safety protocols require us to meet virtually. Thank you for understanding. We'll have about a 30-minute presentation by our grade level staff and then have time for questions at the end. We're going to ask you to please use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen for questions, and we'll monitor those.
Y los maestros, ellos van a darles información por 20 minutos más o menos. Y después hay tiempo para
de nossas portas para
Start off this evening by introducing.
minutes comme nous allons aussi
عندنا في الجناية والدين تو أسوق اللي تون تنكر كايكا وقت عددين
with you, albeit in a virtual capacity. As Sheila said, My name is Jade Costello. I'm one of the assistant principals at PHS.
magacayga waxaa waaye
This year I'm actually working with 10th and
Castello
12th graders,
waxaan ahay maamule ku
but
xigta
I've already gotten to know a lot of your ninth
Shiilaba
graders,
idin
and I'm
sheegtay
happy to support them in any way that I
waxaan
can
aad ugu
over the next
faraxsanahay
few
ardada
years.
9th grade ka
And with that, I will send things over to my colleague, Kim Holmes.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Portland High School. We are so glad that you have joined our Portland High School family. My name is Kimberly Holmes. I will be the 9th graders assistant principal for 4 years. I also work with the 11th grade as well. I'm going into my 16th year, so I kind of know Portland High School a little tiny bit. But you are in amazing hands. You have an incredible group of teachers and support staff and administrative staff that will do their best to wrap around your students and the families and to provide whatever support that we need to provide. If there's something that's happening, we don't know, we can't fix what we don't know. So please feel free to reach out either to me, guidance, social work, or somebody else that you feel connected with, and we will find you the support that you need. We look forward to providing and supporting an incredible 4 years at Portland High School. And now I'm going to send you over to our very capable Sarah Obari, who is our team lead, who has done an amazing job lifting this work and getting kids scheduled and getting the school year started for our 9th grade team. So Sarah, take it away.
Thank you, Ms. Holmes. I'm not feeling as capable as I normally do because full disclosure, I'm having some internet in and outs. So my team here is going to let me know if I'm cutting in and out. I'm going to do the best I can and try to make this great for you all. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. We do have a small slideshow for you before we get to teacher introduction. So give me just one moment. Okay, so welcome everyone to our 9th grade open house. I want to give you just an overview of what the evening looks like, what we're hoping, what our goals are for this evening. We want just to welcome families and the class of 2025. We want to talk to families about how you can stay involved and stay informed, give you an opportunity to meet staff. Mostly open house, that's what the in-person open house is all about, to see a face, to know who your student is talking about when they talk about their teachers, and to learn a little bit about our curriculum and our supports for 9th grade and give you an opportunity to ask questions. So that's what this evening is going to look like. First, just how can you stay involved and how can you help your students have a great start to their high school career? So we talk a lot to students about being a self-advocate, and we know that students come to us in a variety of different places on the way to being a self-advocate. Some need more help, some might already be there. So we would love to encourage families to stay involved with this first year of high school and beyond. Ways that you can stay involved is you can actually join teachers' Google Classrooms. You may have already seen an invite. If you haven't and you want to join, you could send an email to the teacher asking to join. This will help you stay informed about what's happening in the classroom. You can log into Infinite Campus, where students' grades are kept, to stay informed about how they're doing in their courses. If you need help logging into Infinite Campus, you can send us an email. Here's one more technical difficulty. My cat making a lot of noise, sorry. If you have questions, you can email us, and almost all of the staff members' emails are in this format. So this is my email, Obari is my last name, and then S, Sarah, my first initial. So the first 5 letters of their last name, first initial, and it's all at portlandschools.org. You can find those emails on our Portland High School website under our staff directory. So we encourage you to reach out to teachers and ask questions. The last thing we would encourage families to do as we start the school year is to help your student with organization and routines. So it's a lot to get used to. We have a schedule that changes every day, meaning we have blue days and white days, different classes. We have a different schedule on Wednesday. So it's a lot to get used to. What materials do I need to bring to school that day? Is it a blue day? Is it a white day? So helping your student, asking them those questions, do you have everything you need? That's really helpful. Students, same thing. Students should be checking Google Classroom and Infinite Campus. Students should be asking for help and asking questions. We really want you to do that in high school. And that could be your advisor that you're going to have for 4 years. It could be your freshman seminar teacher. It could be any of your core teachers. You have a school counselor we're going to hear from. You have social workers who are here to support you. You have a whole admin team. You have me. You have so many people that are here to assist you, to answer your questions. So please reach out. You have a whole team of people. And lastly, the last thing I would like to speak about is that students should be using Block 5, which is our Student Learning Center. We're just getting started with our Block 5 Student Learning Center, where students are right now rotating through their classes. Starting soon, students will be able to ask their teachers to sign them up, or teachers will be asking to see students so that they can get personalized, targeted, and extended supports. This is our response to knowing that the past school year and a little bit in the school year before has been different. And we know, we've heard from students and parents that they're worried. They're worried about if they're behind, if they're gonna do well in high school. And we are here to say, yes, they are going to do well. We're here to support them. And Block 5 is a time where they can get extra help. They can complete work and use it as a study hall. They can make up an assignment if they missed an assignment because they had to stay home because they were sick. Some of our clubs will meet during Block 5, and some classes will have guest speakers or class extensions. Block 5 happens for an hour at the end of our day, every day except for Wednesday. So students will really want to use that time to ask for help. And the best part about it is the whole school does that all at once. So everybody is accessible to them. So that encouragement to ask and reach out, this is a perfect time to do it. I'm going to turn it over now to Miss Emerson, who is one of our school counselors at Portland High School.
Just a reminder to please speak slowly for the interpreters.
Sorry.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Hello, I'm Marissa Emerson, and I am one of the school counselors at Portland High School. I am lucky to work with students who have last names PH through Z, and we have 3 other really amazing counselors that are my colleagues. That would be Miss Burden. She works with the first part of the alphabet, A through DE. We also have Miss Karen, who works with students with last names DI through K. Miss Medeiros, who works with students' last names L through PE. And we work with students, we will each have our caseload for all 4 years. So it's a really awesome opportunity to really dive in, get to know the students, get to know their goals, hopes, dreams, and help them plan for the future. We work in 3 main areas, which are academics, career, and then personal social. And we want to help support students in any way that we can. We'll go to the next slide where we have our contact information. And just to show you that, as Ms. Obari mentioned, you can reach us on our email accounts, but we also have an online booking form to schedule a meeting with us. So for example, mine reflects my normal email address, the emersm.youcanbook.me. If you go to this website, excuse me, then you will be able to book either a 15, 30, or even 60-minute appointment with your school counselor. So we really encourage students to utilize this way to be able to get in touch with us so that they know when we are available and be able to secure their space. And also just to let you all know that we are going into the freshman seminar classes next week to be able to meet with each student briefly, just to do a quick check-in about how the year is going so far. And again, to start talking about some of those goals. And we're really looking forward to reconnecting with your students. And then I just want to pause real quick and see if Miss Payson is in attendance. And if you are, please unmute yourself. And if not, then I will cover this slide. Okay, I'm going to cover this slide. So we have really amazing social workers at Portland High School. We have Miss Payson, Miss Hernandez, and Miss Stubbs. And our social workers are really there to deal with the social emotional concerns that students might have. So even providing, crisis services to therapeutic interventions, but just really working on the well-being and support for all students. And students should always feel free to stop by or make an appointment with them. Our social workers, again, are amazing and really work with many, many, many of our students. So they're wonderful support in our building. And then just to show you how to get in contact with them and their room numbers. So again, email address is there, and then they use the youcanbook.me website as well to be able to schedule appointments. Great.
Thank you.
Am I on?
So now we're going to move on to introducing our 9th grade staff who is here and want to share with you information about the courses your 9th graders are taking at Portland High School. And tonight we're going to start with English. And Miss Phillips was ready to jump in because she knew it was her turn. So we're going to hand it over to her to introduce herself.
Yes, hi, sorry I got out of line a little bit. Karen Phillips, 9th grade English. Pass it over to Amanda.
Hi, good evening. My name is Amanda Pendleton. I teach grade 9 English for Team Rice. And next is Mr. Myatt.
Good evening. I'm Frank Myatt. I'm the 3rd freshman English teacher. And just a brief summary of what we do in 9th grade English. For the reading component, we typically use a sampling of various literary genres, including short stories, fictional novels, memoirs, poetry, and drama. The reading units typically focus on identifying and analyzing the elements of literature, and as well as developing vocabulary in context of those readings. For the writing component, the 5-paragraph essay is really the backbone of what we do in 9th grade English as far as writing is concerned, and we support that by instruction in English grammar and style. And in addition to our content standards, we really focus on time management, organization, critical thinking, and building our students' reading stamina in 9th grade English. And I'd like to hand it over to the science department.
Hello, I'm Mr. Legage. I teach freshman earth science and freshman seminar. And I'll hand it over to Ms. Braceras.
Hello, everyone. Christine Braceras here. So glad you could join us. We're really excited about this year. We have a great earth science team, very energetic people, I must say. Earth science is first and foremost a lab science, and is a survey course that really pulls from biology, chemistry, and physics. There's plenty of hands-on activities. Some of the units that we're going to be covering, we start with an introduction to science and the scientific method. We move on to energy and space, then earth history, cycles of matter, weather and climate, and of course, sustainability. There's a large emphasis on science literacy and citizenship. And of course, since earth science is always in the news, we pull a lot of current events into our classes. And Ms. Bean, I'm not sure if Miss Bean is here.
I don't see her logged in. So we have one other science teacher, Miss Bean. We have 3 freshman teams this year at Portland High School. We have a large freshman class, and we also are trying to be a little bit safer in being able to spread out and have a little bit smaller classes, just a little bit. So we have 3 freshman teams. We're going to, I didn't do a good job, but we are reminded to slow down and pause a little bit in between what we're saying so that the interpreters can interpret. So a reminder to everyone, and we're going to move on to history, big history next. We have Dan.
Hi everyone, I'm Dan Hanley. I teach 9th grade world history and freshman seminar, and I'm going to pass it off to Miss Booty Billings next.
Good evening. I'm Jana Booty Billings, and like Mr. Hanley, I teach world history and also freshman seminar, and I'm very excited to teach your children this year. And I'm going to hand it off to Ms. Lee Winship.
Hey everyone, my name is Miss Lee Winship. I also teach 9th grade social studies and freshman seminar at Portland High School. Our curriculum this year has been modified to fall more in line with some changes that the district is making at each grade level as it revamps the entire social studies scope and sequence from kindergarten through 12th grade. So this year, our team will be teaching a comprehensive world history course that begins with the start of time and ends at the turn of the 20th century. So it's a lot of content. We are going to use 3 historical frames to look for patterns and trends across this narrative of human history. Our 9th grade history course will emphasize critical thinking, making and testing claims, thinking across various scales, analyzing perspectives, and of course, historical writing. We'll do a lot of writing in 9th grade history. Now I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Ms. Messina in the math department.
My name is Alexandria Messina, and I, along with Marissa Lagasse, teach pre-algebra, and this is a daily year-long class.
Hi, this is Bob Lansing, freshman math teacher. I teach CP Algebra 1, which is also a daily course. It covers everything from fraction operations all the way to polynomials. And as Mr. Myatt had mentioned earlier, we put an emphasis on organization, self-advocacy, and time management skills. Ms. Lagasse.
Hi, I'm Miss Lagasse, Marissa Lagasse. I'm teaching pre-algebra and honors algebra this year. And in honors algebra, we cover the same material as college algebra, but it's not every day, it's every other day. And we go a little bit faster and a little bit more in depth. And I'm going to pass it on to Smart.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christopher Smart, and I'm one of the 4 or 5 freshman math teachers here. And one of the classes I teach is AMP1. And that course is year 1 of basically a 2-year program in order to get them ready to take calculus their junior year. And we cover Algebra 1 concepts through Algebra 2. And with last year happening, we want to make sure that whatever gaps that they have, everything is filled so they're ready to go by the time they are juniors. And with that, I'm going to hand it over, I believe, to the phys ed department. So if Ms. Hassan, if you're around.
Oh, I'm here representing for the phys ed department. My name is Ms. Hassan. I have 2 teachers who teach alongside of me. So there is Mr. Russo and Mr. Giordano. So your student probably has one of us. In phys ed, our goal is to create physical fitness goals that can make progress, or that your student can make progress on throughout the semester. Building sustainable, healthy habits through games and activities, in hopes of increasing the likelihood that they continue to exercise in the future. I think I'm handing it over to Jose.
Yes, but I just want to give, I think we have other PE teachers that joined us, but I don't know if they want to, if they can unmute and say hello. We have Mr. Russo, but I'm not sure. Mr. Russo, are you able to say hello?
Can you hear me?
We can.
All right. Well, good evening. Ms. Hassan well said. I am one of three of us, actually four. Mike Fullerton is a health teacher. And our program is, like she mentioned, is really primarily based on personal fitness with the student really going at their own pace. So we're looking forward to this year, and we're off to a very good start. So thank you very much, and thanks for joining us this evening.
Mike Fullerton, I know it's primarily health in 10th grade, but would you like to say hello?
Sure. Welcome, everyone. And I am the health teacher at Portland High School. Your students will have me next year for health class. But I work closely with the phys ed teachers, and we do a lot of collaboration on goal setting and making our phys ed program a little bit better. So really excited for the year. And I'm not sure, is Joe here? Joe Giordano?
Nope, he is a coach also, like many of you, and I believe has a soccer game. So he is not here. So we are going, thank you, Mike. We're going to go to the art and music department, and I do believe Jose is first.
Hi, I am Jose Govea, or Mr. Govea, as the kids would know me by. I teach clay. I also teach Art 1, drawing, and Art 2, all classes that Heather Gilbert will talk about right after me.
Hi, I'm Heather Gilbert. As Jose said, we also have 4 art teachers here at Portland High School. LP LaChapelle and Matt Tanzi are the other 2 art teachers. I think all of us, besides Matt, are teaching at least one section of Art 1, which is most likely what any of your students would have. It's the prerequisite to all of our other art classes. And we explore many different media in Art 1, and students so far have begun to work on their identity projects. We have many advanced classes as well. We have Art 2, 3, 4, and we also have a section of AP Art. We teach classes in drawing, clay, and digital photography. And I think Jane Sawtelle is also here, and she's going to tell you more about music at Portland High School.
Good evening. I'm Jane Sawtelle. I teach all music classes that are held at Portland High School. If your student is an orchestra, the orchestra teacher's name is Julianne Eberl, and she teaches once a week at Deering students from all over the city. At Portland High School, music opportunities for students include beginner and intermediate piano and guitar, beginner ukulele, Caribbean steel pans and music appreciation. We also have concert band and a school chorus, and we have a combined English department, music department, musical theater class that puts on a Broadway musical in January. Many of the students at Portland High School, including several of the 9th graders that I've been privileged to meet in the last 2 weeks, are musicians, and some of them take it very seriously and want to become professional musicians, and a lot of them play just for fun. And the music room is always open to students to come down and meet with friends and jam. And we have, kids who play everything from blues to hard rock to jazz and gospel music. And, they can always find other like-minded students to play with. I'm happy to answer any questions or address any concerns you might have, or try to provide an opportunity for you or your students, and you can just email me anytime. I don't know, Ms. Obari, who to hand it off, so I'll let you do it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Sawtelle. Next, we're going to world language, and we have a teacher who's going to give it an overview, but I also think we have Susanna Green. So I want to give her an opportunity to introduce herself.
Thank you, Sarah. Hi, everybody. I'm Susanna Green. I teach French at Portland, obviously, in all levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And every year it's a different level. And I am pleased to be here tonight. Thank you for joining us. And I would like to turn it over to my friend Peter Birmani, who's going to tell you a little bit more about our language department.
Thanks, Susanna. So yes, my name is Peter Birmani. I'm here to speak on behalf of all of the world languages that are taught here at Portland High School. So I guess just before we get started, I think it's a unique opportunity that our freshman students have in world language, where this is one of the few classes where our freshman students get to interact with students outside of the freshman class. So all of our classes are mixed, so 9 through 12 are all in the same class together, which is really unique and really nice. Here at Portland High School, we teach French and Spanish levels 1 through 5, as Susanna just mentioned. And then we also teach Latin 1 through 4. Levels 1 through 4. And then we also teach American Sign Language levels 1 and 2. I will say this as a party note, I would say that all of our teaching styles are relatively similar, and we all use similar standards. So no matter the language, you're receiving a similar experience between all of us. So I look forward to see everyone, and hopefully there's a little bit of time if you're not already signed up for a language to come join us. Thanks, guys. And I believe I'm passing.
I'm going to pause because I think another world language teacher here, if they're able to unmute and say hello, and that's Maria. You're on mute, I believe, Maria.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay. I'm very excited to be here tonight. Hi, everyone. I'm going to be the new Spanish teacher. And I will be teaching Spanish 1, 1.5, Spanish 2, Spanish 4, and 5. I'm very excited to teach your children, but I will be starting on September 24. But in the meantime, I want to let you know that I'm working with the substitute teachers to keep your students on track.
Thank you so much, Maria. We're going to we have a few people left to introduce. We are going to go to Miss McWilliams, who is an English language learner teacher. And yeah.
Thanks, Sarah. Hi, my name is Kirsten McWilliams, and like World Languages, Portland High School teaches English language. I'm one of 6 English language learner teachers here at Portland High, and I am embedded with all 3 freshman teams. So I consult with all 3 teams of teachers. I manage all the ELL students who are in the gen ed classes for the freshman teams, the ones that have exited out of beginner English classes. And so I'm super excited to work with all of the students, and I work to directly instruct them in English language. We work around advocacy, and I help the students to do well in their gen ed classes and also support the gen ed classes to work well with the students. So welcome to Portland High School.
Thank you so much. And Anne Marie, would you like to say hello as part of the English language learner department?
Sure. I've saved my spiel for 10th grade, but I'll just introduce myself. My name's Anne Murray. Kirsten and I run the ELL program together at Portland High, and we both teach and also support, do the best we can to support students both in general education and in our intensive English program. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Anne. Next, we're going to talk about freshman seminar. And first, we have Nick to introduce herself.
Hello, I'm Susie Nick, and I am the librarian at Portland, and I work closely with your teachers to design lessons on reading, writing, and research.
and I've met a number of your students already. And I teach a section of seminar, and I would like to introduce Emma Senden, who will tell you more about that.
Thanks, Ms. Nick. Hi, everybody. My name is Emma Sinden. I'm the JMG specialist here at Portland High School, but I'm also super lucky to teach a section of what we call freshman seminar. And if you don't know what seminar is, it's essentially a year-long class that's designed to acclimate your student to life in high school and beyond. Over the course of the year, your student will develop and practice the academic and social skills needed to be successful at Portland High School. Your child will also learn the importance of executive functioning, organization, and self-advocacy. This class consists of journaling, individual classwork, COVID-safe group collaboration, and teacher instruction. Examples of our courses of study are PHS orientation, appropriate uses of technology, career and post-secondary planning, and study skills. And we would just like to say to feel free to reach out to us at any time as your child's seminar teachers for any of your at-home needs or your students' academic needs. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Sinden. Next, we have a representative from our special education department, Mike Brown. Mike Brown, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'd be pretty glad to. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. I will be the special education teacher / case manager for most or all of the 9th graders at the high school. I'm really looking forward to working with each and every one of those students and everyone else that I come in contact with. I'm really looking forward to co-teaching with Mr. Hanley, Mr. Legage, and Ms. Phillips, and look forward to being part of this Portland community as much as I can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike, and welcome as a new staff member to PHS. We do now have a social worker that has joined us, so I want to give Ms. Payson an opportunity to introduce herself. Ms. Payson, Ms. Emerson shared some slides earlier about our school counseling program and who they could reach out to, and it included the social workers. So just to let you know, that happened earlier.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank everyone for being here. I apologize for being late. And I am one of the two, well, actually, no, I'm one of the 4 school social workers now. We divide up by alphabet, and we also have a social worker dedicated to our Breathe program and a social worker dedicated to students who are struggling to come to school, disengaged, maybe have some truancy issues. And yeah, I've been with Portland High for a long time, and I'm really happy with every student that I get to meet and work with. And here also, if you have any questions or any worries, we get a lot of our referrals from parents themselves directly calling and saying if they have some worries about what's going on with their students, noticing changes in behaviors and things like that. So I look forward to talking with any of you that have some concerns. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Payson. We have a few more staff members just that can say a quick hello before we move into maybe a few minutes for question and answer. So I see Ms. Burden has joined us. Ms. Burden, would you like to just say hello?
Sure. Hi, I'm Johanna Burden, and I work with students' last names A through DE, and I'm a school counselor.
Thank you so much. And Ms. Thompson, the school nurse, is with us. Is she able to unmute and say, thank you. There you go.
Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson, and I'm the school nurse.
Thank you so much. So at this point of the night, if I've missed anybody, let me know in the chat so that we can make sure every staff member had a chance to say hello. We would like to answer any questions you have in the last couple of minutes. You can use the Q&A feature. If you click it, you can type a question and we will try to answer it. I'm reading this question. I think Ms. Holmes is answering the first question, which is just, it's about how you contact teachers. So we have been through a period of add drop in the past week where students can decide if a class is a good fit, or we may be moving students. Some students recently just moved from pre-algebra to algebra. So please reach out to the teachers directly, or you can also involve myself as the team leader or your child's school counselor, and maybe all are a great place to start so that we can have those conversations about how best to make that transition. The next one I see is about, is there like a virtual backup to classes? Meaning if we have to close for a period of time, even if it's short, what will that look like? What will school look like? And so, somebody.
Caroline, can you just let us finish the 9th grade one? We're bumping up against time to join 10th grade. So Caroline, we just like to finish 9th grade and then we'll get you on in a few minutes. Thanks.
Yeah, and I think this is a great question and maybe where we will end. And then if anybody has more questions, you can reach out. So all teachers have a Google Classroom this year where they have invited students to join. It's something we did right away. And we're also in the process of making sure that each student has the technology in their hands that they need. For us, that's a Chromebook and internet access. So that if we needed to close, students will have access to learning through Google Classroom. That also is the case if a student needs to quarantine or they are out because they are ill. The classes will not be live in Google Classroom. It won't be through Google Meets if it's just for one student that's out, but you can access the materials for the class, what assignments are being posted. Many of us in the stream are posting what the daily agenda looks like for that day. So they'll be able to see and sort of keep up with their classes, but we also know that then students would need to see us during block 5 to fill in some of the gaps from being absent. But in the case that we all close and that we need to go, we have the system set up already so that we can transition easily to teaching remotely, which this team of people is just really experts in at this point from all that we have gone through in the past year. All right, Ms. Jepson, I think we are getting ready to transition to grade 10.
We are. Thank you, families, for joining us. Thank you, staff, for being here tonight and your presentations and your welcoming words to our families. Families, we will have this recording. This was recorded, and the presentation will be on our website probably at some point tomorrow. And you can look for that on our website. Appreciate your time this evening. We are going to transition to 10th grade. So thanks so much, 9th grade teachers. We'll see you tomorrow. And for those of you staying, thanks for staying for 10th grade too. Thanks. Good night.
I am so sorry I did that. My bad.
That's, I mean, you know, we knew we'd be transitioning, no worries. We're, you know, some people are leaving and some people are joining. So we've got a few minutes to just get 10th grade settled. And 9th grade staffers, you don't have to stay, but well, also happy to have you stay if you want.
Sheila, do you think that Mr. Kennedy in attendees is Michael?
I do. Yep. Let's bring him in. And if it's not, we'll.
If it's not, I'll send him away.
Back to attendee. Thanks. Thank you, Sarah. Nice job.
It is. I just have screaming kids here. I just shut the door.
Everybody remember, we're still being recorded.
Yes. Thanks for the reminder, David.
David, can you let Andy Clark in as a panelist? Thank you.
You got ahead of my typing.
Hey, David, will you move Joan over?
I just tried.
Looks like she's over. Thank you for those families who are joining us. We'll wait a few minutes, so hopefully we'll have some more attendees and we'll get started just a little bit after 7.
I'm ready when you are, Sheila.
Okay, I see people still coming in, so maybe we'll just take another minute, Caroline, and then we'll get started at 7:02.
Okie dokie.
Great. There might have been traffic.
Well, my connection here at home is much better than the one that was at school, that's for sure, earlier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really low-key this afternoon.
Yeah.
I rebooted and reset everything, so it should be fine.
Okay. Maureen, while we're waiting, do you want to talk about the interpretation piece? Maureen?
Sorry, hold on. I have to
Right.
connect to my computer.
Caroline, she might need to share screen over yours to do that part.
All right.
So if you just could stop while she gets that set, that'd be great.
You want me to unshare?
Yeah, just stop share so Maureen can do the interpretation slide. I think let's get started, Maureen.
Okay. All right, good evening, everyone. For the 10th grade team, if you need help with an interpreter, you're going to be looking on the bottom of your screen for the box circled here in red. It looks like a globe. You're going to click interpretation, select the language you'd like to hear, and mute the original audio. If you're joining us from a phone, you're going to be looking for the More button circled here in red. You click that, click language interpretation, select the language you'd like to hear, mute the original audio, and click done or save. Tonight we have interpreters here in French, Portuguese, Somali, and Spanish. I will go through the same slides in the 4 languages. I won't attempt to read them, but I'll let you read them for yourself. First up is Portuguese. Portuguese if you're using a mobile phone. And French. French from your mobile phone. And Spanish. Spanish from your phone. And Somali. If you have any trouble finding the interpretation feature, just put a question in the Q&A and I will do my best to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen. All right, Caroline, I think you can share now and I'll welcome people. So good evening, families, and welcome to our grade 10 open house. We are glad you could join us. I'm Sheila Jepson, the principal. Tonight, you will meet our administrative team, hear from our 10th grade team of teachers, and learn about what your 10th grader will experience this year. I know you will find the night informative. We had hoped to have this night in person, but unfortunately, our health and safety protocols require us to meet virtually. Thank you for understanding. We'll have about a 30-minute presentation by our grade level staff and then have time for questions at the end. We ask that you use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. We're going to try to keep to a time limit. We have about 45 minutes for both the presentation and the Q&A. I would like to start off this evening by introducing Kimberly Holmes, one of our assistant principals.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Portland High School. We know it's been a long year and we appreciate you guys being here with us tonight so you can hear all the good things that we will continue to do for your students. And I would like to turn it over to my colleague, Miss Jade Costello.
Hi, everyone. Welcome and thanks for being here. For those of you who don't know me, I am the assistant principal who works directly with grade 10 and grade 12. I know many of your students, and I've gotten to know many of you. And I will just quickly share that I absolutely adore the class of 2024. They showed such resilience and humor and kindness last year during their first hybrid year at Portland High School. They are good to each other. They are good for our school community. And I really sort of hold a special place in my heart for this class. I think they're going to do amazing things over the next 3 years at Portland High. And if you need anything or need to discuss any supports or questions about your students, I think most of you know where to find me and how to reach me. And I'm happy to continue to connect with you throughout the year. With that being said, I will now turn it over to our grade 10 team leader, who is Caroline Patry.
Hello, everyone. And again, welcome to Portland High School in the year 21-22. We are excited to be with your students and learners, and we're really enjoying this class so far and look forward to having a great year with them. Tonight you will, whoops, sorry. I got to get my clicking down here. Okay, so tonight you are going to hear from my 10th grade colleagues in all of the different content areas and the support services around Portland High School. And you can see the different areas that we are going to go through this evening. And again, as Ms. Jepson said earlier, if you have questions, please access the Q&A area at the bottom of your screen and type your questions in there. We do have a monitor who will answer questions online if possible, or we may answer them in person later. Okay, let's get going. So we are going to start off the evening with the EL programming for English learners, English language learners. And I would like to about those supports.
Hello, everyone. As Caroline said, my name's Anne Murray. I'm here representing the English Language Learning Department at Portland High. We offer various kinds of support for students throughout our entire community at Portland High, starting from beginner newcomers to students who may have been in the country for a while and who are in general education classes and who just may need different various kinds of support, which we try to provide. One way that we provide additional support in the 10th grade is that every student who is designated as someone who may benefit from English language support, especially from scores on their access test, will have this designation on their schedule, which gives the name of the person that is their multilingual evaluation team contact. So if your son or daughter is in 10th grade and may benefit from support, Mr. Rowan Henry would be their contact, and or myself. If your son or daughter is in our intensive English program, then I would be the primary contact. If you have any questions or help or just anything that you need, you are welcome to contact one or both of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anne, for giving us insight into the English language programming at Portland High School. And next we are going to just take a minute to talk to you about what the Student Learning Center Block 5 is on your learner schedules. So you will see that students have 4 classes a day. And at the end of the day, the last hour is what we are calling Student Learning Center Block 5. And this block 5 is to provide support to students outside of a traditional class period to help support our belief that we want students to have personalized, targeted, and extended support in order to maximize their learning. We will do this outside of traditional class periods during this student learning center, as working with individuals or small groups. And the purpose of this is to give more time, guided practice, and to provide flexibility for students to improve their academic work and to reach their academic potential. It's also a time where students will be able to experience enrichment activities, exploratory activities, as well as perhaps have extra time for assessments and projects. So be sure to talk to your student about the Student Learning Center. They're going to have a couple of weeks of practice going to this and learning what the expectations are from their teachers. And after September 20th, they will then be able to be called back by their teachers to certain classes where they might feel they need support, or the teacher feels they need either more support or access to enrichment or more exploratory activities. Safety protocols this year, we are going with the approach of layering on the different interventions. So the more you can support those layers of intervention and mitigating the transmission of the virus, the more likely it is it will stay in school with our students. And I personally can say that I couldn't be happier to be in the presence of your learners. It just really brightens my life and my heart to see their faces every day, and their energy is palpable, and we're excited to have them around us again. So in order to keep that, we will be screening your students for symptoms each day, and we won't be, but we're asking you, sorry, to screen your students each day. Make sure they are well. If they are sick or showing any kind of symptoms, please have them stay home. We all are masking. So right now, everybody, whether they're vaccinated or not, is wearing a mask all day long. We all are practicing appropriate social distancing and limiting the amount of people we have in spaces. All teachers in all classes have seating charts so that we can do contact tracing accurately and hopefully reduce the amount of students who need to quarantine over time, as well as any faculty and staff. And our fabulous maintenance team is continuing the cleaning protocols that they have been practicing since day one of this situation, and we can't be more grateful for the work that they do on a daily basis. So let's all work together and let's keep our kids in school. I would like to next introduce Joanna Burden, who is going to speak to you about the school counselors and our guidance curriculum. Joanna?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Patry. Welcome and welcome back to sophomore families. As I think many of you know, school counselors work with students based on their last name. So just as one example, I work with students' last names A through DE, and you can get a hold of me if you want by email by doing the first 5 of my last name and then my first initial at portlandschools.org. That's the same for all staff at Portland High. And then the
can I just say, just to slow down for our interpreters? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. And then for the school counselors and social workers and Ms. Levinsky are using a site called youcanbook.me that uses the beginning of our emails. And you can go onto that site and choose an appointment time if you would like. You also can still call us. The major functions of school counselors are to help students with academic planning and success, providing confidential social emotional support, and helping students with future planning. If you're unsure of where to go for help, we think we're a good first stop and can set you on the right path to getting your questions answered or your concerns addressed. We have a website that you can access from the school counseling, from the Portland High website. And to talk just a little bit about our curriculum, especially for sophomores, this winter, we will do some, next slide, please, Ms. Patry. We will do a personality inventory and have students look up some related possible careers, I think, in the winter during biology classes. And then we'll have another unit around future planning options, I think, during early US history classes. But we will be working both sort of on some curriculum items and on the other items I already mentioned. We also work really closely with our school social workers and the rest of our school staff, and as needed, make referrals to our school social workers. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Burden. Next, I would like to introduce Sophia Payson-Rand, one of our school social workers. Sophia?
Hi, thank you, Carolyn. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for coming out tonight. I just want to echo before I get going that I agree with Ms. Costello. Your students really managed a lot last year and were super resilient and flexible, and it was just really awesome to see and work with them. And tough year to enter high school, but they did an amazing job. School social work is available to all students. We have, it's just my name on here, but that's because we didn't get into the slide show in time. But we have 4 social workers. 2 of us, myself and Katie Small, divide by alphabet. I have A through K and Katie Small has L through Z. And then we have a social worker who's with our dedicated Breathe program, which is a special ed program, and a social worker, Paula Hernandez, who works with all students who are, you know, have had trouble with attending school for external reasons, work or family issues or things that are keeping them from coming to school. So she's connecting with them and trying to help them get back into school and re-enter, particularly after the year with COVID and online learning. We offer, similar to school counselors, confidential services. And while I do think school counselors are sort of the first stop, we then offer more clinical, like for kids who are struggling with some depression, anxiety, trauma-related issues, social emotional help. We do get a lot of referrals from school counselors and staff, but it's also, you know your children best, really important that you communicate if you have any worries or concerns. If you've noticed a change in behaviors with your kids, it's obviously a strange year after last year, but you know, when they're back in school, if you're noticing that they're feeling more isolated or in their rooms or any sort of thing you're just worried about that just doesn't feel right in your gut as a parent or guardian, please reach out. You can reach us the same way that you would reach school counselors, by our email, and you can bookme.org. So thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Sophie. And we will update the slide so all that information is there for people to access later. Thanks so much, Sophie. Okay, next we are going to move into the world of extended learning opportunities, and our ELO coordinator, Andrea Levinsky, will just give a brief description of what the different extended opportunities are that students can take advantage of. Andrea?
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea Levinsky, she, her. I am the Extended Learning Opportunities Coordinator at Portland High School, and I help students with several things. The first one being internships for credit. This is generally for juniors and seniors, but once in a while, some sophomores take advantage of this. I also put together a big job shadow day for all 10th graders in April, hopefully, COVID willing. I also do career panels and exploration programs. I also am the hub for all programs in the community. And I also help students apply for jobs. So I have a website and a Google Classroom that hosts all of this information that you're welcome to check out. If your student is looking for something to do, get involved in the community, get involved at PHS, explore some interests, I'd be a great person to connect with. and you'll see my email right on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrea. Next, we're going to shift to Portland High School arts in the visual arts and music. So I will shift to Jose.
Hi, I'm Jose Govea. I am teaching clay this year, as well as Art 1, drawing, and Art 2, which Heather will tell you more about.
Hi, I'm Heather Gilbert, we have 4 art teachers at Portland High School. We also have, as you can see on screen, LP LaChapelle and Matthew Tanzi. I'm going to tell you in the next few slides just a little bit about art at Portland High School. And if you'll notice, as we're going through the slides, all of the work on the slides, it has been done by Portland High School students. Next slide, please. Art 1 Fundamentals is a course that many of your students may have already taken. It's the prerequisite to all other art courses at Portland High School. And last year and this year, we explored a lot of different media and students completed an identity project. Next, please. Drawing is another course that we have at Portland High School, and in drawing, students explore methods that range from experimental to traditional to strengthen their abilities to draw. Next slide, please. We also have digital photography. It is one of the courses that I am teaching this year. Students take and edit their own photographs. We get out in downtown Portland quite a bit as the weather is nice. And we're looking through all different subjects and all different subject matter, and we explore a lot of composition and lighting in photography. Next slide, please. Clay and sculpture is another course that we have. This year, I think it's going to be a little bit more dedicated in clay. Last year with COVID, we kind of mixed it up a bit, but students will explore all different methods from pinch pots to coil pots, sculptural and functional pieces. Next slide, please. Art 2 is kind of our intermediate art class. It's a year-long class, and many students take it in the progression to 3-4 and AP. And if you can go to the next couple slides, please, Caroline. There's some 3-4 student work. And AP art, which is like our other AP classes, students submit a portfolio, which is a little bit different, but they also can earn college credit in AP. And just our upper level classes are all designed to help students explore and practice different creative techniques and deepen their understanding that the role of art plays in our society. And I'm going to, Jane Sawtelle, I think, is also here, and she will talk a little bit about our music program at Portland High School.
Thanks, Ms. Gilbert. Hi, I'm Jane Sawtelle. We have a few different types of music classes here at Portland High School. Basically, they break down to individual music or ensemble music. So our individual music classes range from very introductory piano classes for students who've never touched a piano before, or guitar or ukulele, to some more advanced classes where students can learn multiple instruments and put instruments together into various ensembles. You can go ahead, Miss Patry, just give me like 5 seconds of each or something, 10 seconds. We also have a musical theater class that is co-taught between Mr. Smith and myself. And we aim to put on a Broadway musical every year. This is a slide from last year, so let me just ignore that. We plan to put on a full show in January, and that's our goal. If it doesn't work because of COVID, we'll do something to celebrate student learning. We have ensembles including band and orchestra, which actually is a different teacher, and chorus and Caribbean steel drums. We have a lot of students who just come to the music room and kind of form their own bands, rock bands and blues bands and jazz ensembles. And I'm always open to students coming down and exploring any kind of music that they would like to try. whenever they have a free period or before and after school. They just need to come and see me. And yeah, that's more about extracurricular music. We have a lot of teachers at Portland who are also musicians. And last year with COVID, we were able to put together a few just fun kind of guitar jam sort of things. It was really great and good for the students to see that music is something you can do for your whole life. I think there's one more slide. And then we also have a few classes for students who want to do more individual work, such as an intermediate piano and guitar, or students who need a fine arts credit but don't really want to learn to play an instrument or sing. And so we offer a music appreciation class as well, which is frankly my favorite thing to teach. But basically for you and your students, any questions that you have, anything you think your student would like to do, you know, if they played in 5th and 6th grade and really miss it and would like to come back, just shoot me an email or give me a call and I'd be happy to try to get them in, and we'll figure something that works out. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much to all of our resident artists. Okay, I am going to now pass it off to either Mr. Giordano or Ms. Hassan. I think Ms. Hassan, are you going to speak to the PE education?
Yeah, I can do that real quick.
Awesome.
Thank you. Hi, I am Ms. Hassan. I have two co-teachers, Mr. Giordano and Mr. Russo. One of us will be teaching your student or may have already had your student. In phys ed, we are building sustainable, healthy habits through games and activities in hopes of increasing the likelihood of students staying active in the future. We are hoping to build upon their current physical fitness level. Of course, during COVID, kids were not as active as they had been. So that's kind of our goal, is to get our kids back enjoying activity and making it a part of their daily lives.
Great. Thanks so much. And now to health with Mr. Fullerton.
How we doing? My name is Mr. Fullerton. I'm the health teacher here at Portland High School. Along with Ms. Hassan, teaches one section of health classes. We have a comprehensive health curriculum that's built off of our main standards. If you want to switch the slide and I can show the contact information. If your student has me for health class, best way to get in touch with me is through email. The school phone number is there as well. And then the formatting on this went off a little bit, but if you'll notice, the blue day is lined up where it says block 1, 2, and 3. And white day is kind of tucked underneath for some reason. But if your student has, or your student is on our Google Classroom, so those would be the classroom code depending on when they have our class. But if you've all been invited to the classes, and if you would like another invite, then just email me and I'll certainly do that. For grading, for our grading format, we do 50 points for, it's a point system, 50 points for formative assessments, and then 100 points for summative assessments. Formative assessments would be things like classwork and homework, and summative meaning test projects and presentations. It balances out throughout the curriculum to 20% per standard. So the standards are health concepts, health information products and services, health risk reduction, and then health influences, and goal setting and decision making is the final standard. Some of the topics that we cover, we start with a foundational unit on body systems and kind of getting us thinking about the human body and about some basic health concepts. Then we go to health risk reduction, and within that they learn some skills on researching for valid health information from the internet. We then start our substance abuse unit. It's focused on first using medicine appropriately, and then also in how not to abuse substances and and how to gather valid information about substances. And then we end with the topic of addiction, and then our family living unit would be after that. And with family living,
Oops, I think he froze. Okay, so you can see these are the last couple of units that health addresses: nutrition and then mental and emotional health. You know, really looking at the issues around mental health and how to manage them and identify what's happening. Are you back with us, Mike? Okay. Mike left a message to his students, and basically, you know, as much effort as you put into the class is what you're going to get back out of it. And it's really there. Oh, are you back, Mike?
I'm back. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Sorry.
I just wanted to say, yeah, if you could, just because there's one change that wasn't reflected on the thing in our mental health unit. I've added in a section on social media use and the effects on mental health, and it revolves around a documentary called Social Dilemma, and we talk about the impact social media can have on your mental health. So that's not reflected in the outline, but you can see the units are comprehensive. And then this is the message to all students. I've read it to all of your students, and it's something that I feel very strongly. It's kind of my philosophy with teaching, and it's basically, you know, you're going to get what you put into this class, and if you have any questions, you need to be responsible and communicate what your needs are so that I can help you. And I'm more than willing to modify what I do and bend over backwards to help your student out, as long as they're the one that initiates the conversation and shows that responsibility. So it was nice to meet everybody.
Great. Thank you, Mike. Okay, so next I would like to introduce Marlene Schweitzer to talk to you about sophomore science.
Hello, everyone. All right, so sophomore science this year, there's 3 of us teaching it. Myself, Marlene Schweitzer, Eric Begonia, and Caroline Patry, who you've met. We're all teaching biology. So there's 2 levels of biology. We've got a college prep biology class, and we have an honors biology class. Oh, there we go. There is also an elective your sophomore can take, which Miss Patry does, which is environmental science. So for biology, we're going to cover ecology, which is looking at ecosystems, population dynamics, biomes, cell biology, so everything on a cellular level that we can fit in, genetics, DNA. If we get to evolution, we do like to do that as well. We practice some skills. We're going to use microscopes this year, basic biology lab skills, and career exploration. So we're excited to have your students back in the room to do some hands-on labs.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to have science back. People back in the science labs. Yay. Okay, so next we will move to mathematics at Portland High School, and I would like to introduce Kelly Smith to go over that with you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kelly Smith. I am one of 4 math teachers on the 10th grade team. I have 10th graders in Algebra 2, and I also teach honors pre-calculus with 11th and 12th graders.
And my name is Eileen DuPont. I'm teaching AMP 2 to 10th graders. It stands for Accelerated Math Program. It's pre-calculus and geometry. And I just want to say I am thrilled to have your engaged students in front of me instead of icons from last year. It's just amazing. And I've really gotten to know them a little bit this last week, and I'm very excited to get to know them more. I also teach calculus and geometry to 11th and 12th graders.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss Waybright. I teach Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Geometry. And I do teach mainly 10th and 11th graders.
Hey there, everyone. I'm Andrew Clark. I'm teaching Algebra 2 this year, and I am super excited to get to know your students.
All right, and if we can just switch to the next slide, you're on it. Thank you. This table kind of reflects what a traditional path might look like for your students. If we kind of focus in on that 10th grade year, you can see it's Algebra 1, Algebra 2, either college prep or honors level, or that AMP2 class. And on the next slide, we kind of zoom in even further on that 10th grade year. Perfect. College Algebra 1 is our foundational algebra class. It will give all the basics of algebra necessary in order to move on to those future math courses. Once a student successfully completed that course, they'll move into Algebra 2. So this is the second year of algebra. It picks up where Algebra 1 left off with, of course, some review, and it begins letting students explore into quadratics and functions, and a lot of the content within Algebra 2 is also found on the SAT when they go to take that. At the honors level, it's very similar curriculum. It does increase the rigor and speed and pace at which all the content is gone over. So it allows students to delve a little bit deeper into some of those topics if math is something they love and they want that challenge. And then finally is the AMP2 class, which is a daily course. They do geometry the first semester, pre-calculus the second semester, and that prepares students to move into AP Calculus AB in grade 11, and then AP Calculus BC in grade 12.
Excellent. Thank you for guiding us through the world of mathematics, Kelly Smith. Next, we are going to go into English, and I would like to introduce Michelle Tucci, aka Mama Tucci.
Good evening. I am Michelle Tucci, and tonight I'm speaking to you about our 10th grade English program. You can see that we have 3 teachers, and I'm joined by Joan Parkin and David Smith, and get a lot of support from the ELL teachers, including Anne Murray, who's joining me in a co-taught class this year. Next slide. The English department has designed a course of studies that provide students with, sorry, I need to slow down, several opportunities to meet district graduation standards. The standards are layered throughout the 4 years of English and also among our electives. The 10th grade graduation standards are speaking and listening. The graduation standards are speaking and listening, specifically presentation, and in writing, they are theme and evidence. So our our reading selections are a variety of classic and contemporary literature, and you can see some of the titles there. Okay. Next slide. Thank you. Oops, we lost one.
There we go.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. And we have several English electives that we review on a yearly basis to ensure their relevancy and the interest among our students. In recent years, we've added a film and lit course, which is very popular. And I teach a genealogical research course called Who Do You Think You Are? And of course, our musical theater course is an annual favorite. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Mama Tucci. I just learned about that today. So yep, I'm going to be using that. So fun, so fun. Okay, next I would like to introduce Susanna Green, who will introduce our world language curriculum at Portland High School to you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Susanna Green, and I teach French.
And I have some wonderful colleagues in other departments in other languages with Spanish and Latin and American Sign Language. And this year I teach only French, and I am joined by Liz Greer, who also teaches French half-time. Next slide, please, Ms. Pictree. The skills that we work on for meeting the graduation standards are the 3 modes of communication: the interpersonal, which is when students speak to each other in the target language or when they speak to the teacher. And that's really the biggest one that we try to work on, because most of the students, when we ask them, why are you taking a language class? They say, I want to be able to speak the language with other people. So interpersonal is a really big one for us. Interpretive is more traditional things like reading a piece and responding to it, reacting to it, or watching a video and answering questions about it. And then finally, there's the presentational mode, which is what I'm doing right now, presenting to an audience. And that is another one that we focus on throughout the year. Next slide, please. And so we developed a lot of skills, as did everyone last year with remote learning, a lot of tools that made things easier for teaching remotely. And a lot of those are still valid for this year as well. So some things that we still use are Flipgrid, where the students can record a video of themselves speaking. I feel like I'm speaking too quickly now for the interpreter, so I'm not setting a good language example. Edpuzzle is another one, and that's something that a lot of teachers use. And then finally, the News in Slow French, which would be wonderful for me to be using right now. It's available in French and Spanish, and it sort of rebroadcasts news, current events in the target language. And as you can see from the signs on the screen there, you can slow it down a little bit more or speed it up, but it helps students understand the news in French and in Spanish as well. And I believe that is all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, I'd like to introduce Michael Kennedy, who is our grade 10 special education case manager. Michael?
Hello, I'm Michael Kennedy. I'm sorry, it's getting kind of dark. I'm on the back porch with my daughter's inside, fighting bedtime, getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, if you see me swatting. I'm the special education teacher for grade 10, and my room is 2014, but your child might be assigned to another room. In special education, we offer academic support centers, which is focused on study skills, strategies, support and remediation in areas of deficits that are identified by the IEP team. And there's also additional services that can sometimes happen during the academic support time, like speech and counseling, and sometimes guidance counselors come in, social workers, that sort of thing. But if your child's in grade 10, most likely they work with me. If not, it's probably Mr. Bay. But if you reach out to me, I can direct you to your student's case manager if you're unaware of that.
Great, thank you so much. Next, I'd like to introduce Ms. Nick, who will illuminate the library for you.
Hi, good evening. I'm Susie Nick, and I'm the librarian. And I met many of your students last year when they were in the building. They were doing their online courses. I'm just excited to see them again this year. I will be working with all of their teachers, designing lessons around reading, writing, and research. And if you would like to find out more about the library, please visit the library website, which you can access through the Portland High School website. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nick. And Lance Johnson, our co-curricular director, will give you some information about all the clubs and activities available at Portland High School.
Hi, Ms. Patry, and I'm covering for Mr. Johnson tonight because he's at a soccer game. So you see before you a list of our clubs and activities, and this isn't necessarily an exhaustive list, but it gives you an idea of the clubs that we offer for students, from being in the band and our Bulldog Edition newspaper to the Shakespeare Club and being part of Seeds of Peace or the Women's Rights Group. If students want to create a new club, they come and ask us. And one of the clubs that we recently started just a few years ago was the Ping Pong Club, a pretty active group of students who play ping pong. And they said, we're interested. So we said, great, and we started a ping pong club. So if your student has an idea for a club that we don't offer, we're happy to really entertain that for them.
Excellent. So yes, we have some time available for you to access the Q&A section and to enter your questions. And Sheila, how do you want to go about that?
Yeah, I think Ms. Costello was typing, but Ms. Costello, would you like to just respond to that question?
Sure. So I see a first question in the Q&A feature asking about plans to have a remote day instead of closing due to COVID. And I will say, absolutely. Our hope is that if there are full closures, like what we experienced this past week, whether due to weather or COVID related incidents, that we're definitely hoping to offer some level of remote learning if the entire school is closed. There were a few challenges this week, both with timing and with ensuring that all students had working Chromebooks because it was so early in the year. But that's certainly our hope if we experience something like that again. And then I think there's a second part to the question. If a student is quarantined, will remote learning be used? If students are in quarantine this year, we will not be offering asynchronous or synchronous learning the way that we did last year, mostly because we just don't have the staff capacity to do so. But we're certainly encouraging students to check Infinite Campus as well as Google Classroom and be in communication with teachers about keeping up with their work. And I'm happy to answer any more specific questions about that through email if 10th grade parents have more inquiries about that. And then we have a question, will students have to quarantine if they are vaccinated? So the quick answer to that is no. If a student is vaccinated and are not showing symptoms of COVID, they can continue to come to school and not be quarantined. And if any of you are interested, we are offering some vaccine clinics on Thursdays at PHS throughout the month of September. And we'll be putting out more information about that to the community. So we're definitely encouraging all of our students and families to consider that as an option so that you can stay healthy and continue to come to school.
Okay. All right, seeing no other questions in the Q&A, I guess we will say good night to you. Thank you so much for attending. And again, we had hoped to do this in person, but we hope that we gave you a good picture